the promise is proved. Zion. Oh, the watchmen are standing, the trumpets will sound. The echoes of glory are shaking the ground. No more of the sorrow, no more of the night. We're walking the pathway, we're chasing the light. Open the gates, let the glory come in. The end of the exile, the end of the sin. Every nation will see it, every tongue will proclaim the beauty of Zion, the power of the scarlet, the veil in the wind, a sanctuary rising where the journey thinned. Cold in the shadows, the acacia wood frame, a house in the desert for the holy tabernacle glowing with unearthly light. Deep in the holies, where the mercy seat stays, we walk through the smoke and we offer I've been sweeping the floors, I've been building the wall, trying to catch every teardrop before it can fall. I thought if I worked until my fingers were bare, maybe I'd finally be worthy to stand in your prayer. Grew up learning love was a debt to be paid, a bargain, a contract, a track that was late. So I stay in the kitchen, I run till I break, thinking my value is only in the things that I make. But I look at your face and the hammer drops down. You run holding a ledger, you're holding a crown. You point to a chair where the light shining sweet and tell me to lay all the weight at your feet. I don't have to carry the house on my back. You look at my spirit and see nothing lack. For the first time in life, I don't have to fight to prove I belong in the warmth of your light. And you say, come to the table, drop the heavy load. You've reached the end of that merciless road. You don't have to earn it, you don't have to bleed. Just sit in my presence. I'm all that you need. Heart over perfection, the striving can't cease. I'm finally resting inside of your peace. No more armor to fix, no more staples to hide. I'm stepping away from the performance inside. You love me because I am yours. That's the truth. Healing the child from the wounds of her youth. As you say, come to the table, drop the heavy load. You've reached the end of that merciless road. You don't have to earn it, you don't have to bleed. Just sit in my presence. I'm all that you need. Heart over perfection, the striving can't cease. I'm finally resting inside of your peace. I'm sitting down now. The kitchen is quiet, the work is all yours. Amen.
The road is long, the pavement's cold and gray. count the heavy miles at the end of every day. Staples in my armor, scars upon my skin. Lord, I'm so exhausted from the places that I've been. I look up to the sky and ask you what you need from me, 'cause my spirit's getting heavy and I'm longing to be free. I'm standing in the kitchen with a mountain left to climb, just trying to hold the line one final time. But I'm running for the finish, running through the pain. I don't need the world's approval or the earthly kind of gain. I've got one goal left before I finally catch my breath, to lay a blessing down for the ones I love until there's nothing left. Lord, take this tired heart, I'm ready to come home, but give me strength to run the miles until the work is done. The voices on the street, the noise inside the gym, the static of a world that's growing dark and dim. They don't see the fortress, they don't see the shield, they don't know the quiet peace of broken soul can yield. I'm saving every dollar, I'm building up the wall to make sure that my family has a shelter when I fall. It's hard over perfection, that's the promise that I made, even when the shadows fall and the light begins to fade. Running through the pain, I don't need the world's approval or the earthly kind of gain. I've got one goal left before I finally catch my breath, to lay a blessing down for the ones I love until there's nothing left. Lord, take this tired heart, I'm ready to come home, but give me strength to run the miles until the work is done. Wipe away the tears, you know the weary mind. You promise there's a homecoming at the end of the line. Streets of gold awaiting, but until I see the gate, I'll keep the fire burning, I will carry all the Yeah, I'm running for the finish, running through the pain. I don't need the world's approval or the earthly kind of gain. I've got one goal left before I finally catch my breath, to leave a legacy of love until there's nothing left. Lord, take this tired heart, I'm ready to come home, but give me strength to run the miles until the work is done. Oh, till the work is done. I'll lay the blessing down into your hands, Lord. Amen. spend my nights staring at the wall, waiting for the shadows, waiting for the fall. The noise in my head was a heavy chain, trying to find a shelter in the driving rain. I looked to the left, I looked to the right, but the world didn't have a spark of light. Then I heard a rhythm, steady and true, telling me exactly what to do. You can call it a mystery, call it a sign, but I stopped walking that crooked line. I traded the static for a holy sound. Now my feet are standing on solid ground. I said, God's in control. He is the solution. It's a heart fixed, soul deep, spirit revolution. Yeah, God's in control. He's the only solution. They try to tell you that you're all alone, left to fight the battle on your own. But I've seen the fire, and I felt the cold, and I've seen the story as it all unfolds. There's a hand that's holding every single star. He knows exactly who and where you are. It don't matter where you've been or what you've done. The victory was finished by God's only begotten Son. I said, God's in control. He is the solution. It's a heart fixed, soul deep, spirit revolution. Yeah, God's in control. He's the only solution. When the world gets loud and the pain won't stop, when you're standing at the edge looking off the top, just listen to the heartbeat of the God who made the sky. He's the truth, he's the way, and he'll never pass you by. I said, God's in control. He is the solution. It's a heart fixed, soul deep, spirit revolution. Yeah, God's in control. He's the only solution. His love is the only revolution. He's in control. He's got the peace for my soul. Yeah, yeah.
I walk through the fire with a smile on my face. Gave all I had to a losing race. I held out my hand, they took the whole arm. Thought I was safe, but I was sounding the alarm. I didn't know then what I know now. Yes, without a boundary is a sacred cow. I thought love meant giving till there's nothing left, but I was just a target for the entitled and bereft. But it's not my
used to beg for crumbs of affection. Now I know my worth from a different direction. You showed me chemistry is not a calling, that saying no is not a fall. I block the numbers, I close the door, and I'm not the woman I was before. 'Cause it's not my strength that got me through. It's not my strength, Lord, it was you. When I was too tired to even pray, you carried me anyway. And on the other side of the pain, I'm still standing. Not the same, not by my power, not by my will, just your grace holding me still. I pray for him now from a distance, 'cause revenge was never your resistance. I don't need to see him fall, I just need to hear your call. And it sounds like freedom, it sounds like peace, it sounds like walking away from the disease of trying to earn what should be given. Lord, I'm done, now I'm just living. It's not my strength, it was you. When I was too tired to even pray, you carried me anyway. And on the other side of the pain, I'm still standing. Not the same, not by my power, not by my will, just your grace holding me still. I'm still standing, not the same, and I'm finally free. Used to walk these streets with ease, knew every face, felt every breeze. Now I keep my head down low, watching every step I go. Something shifted in the air, the same old road, but I'm not there. The walls are standing, but I feel like nothing here is truly real. This is not my home anymore. I'm just a stranger passing through these rooms, these roads, these heavy doors. They don't know me like they used to, and maybe that's okay with me, 'cause I was never meant to stay. This is not my home anymore. My home is where the hurt fades away. To think I had to prove that I was strong enough to move through all the noise, through all the shame, and carry water with no name. But I am tired of pretending that I don't need a happy ending. I gave my all to empty hands. Now I'm learning where my real strength stands. I don't need to go back, I don't need the way things were. I just need to know my name. It's still a whisper God has heard. Let the streets change, let the faces turn away. I am homesick for a place where I don't have to be brave. The shadows and the pride, keeping walls between the brothers, keeping all the hurt inside. But there's a calling in the distance, a whisper in the wind. It's time to lay the armor down and let the grace begin. We're tired of the fighting, we're tired of the war. It's time to stand together, or we're gonna watch it fall. How good and how pleasant it is when we're living in the light of the King. Like the oil on the head, like the promise of the dew, we're finding a life that is ancient and new, in the harmony of heaven, in the power of the sun. How good it is when we live as one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's a blessing from the mountain, flowing down to Aaron's feet, where the mercy and the justice and the broken spirits meet. It's not about the credit, it's not about the name, it's about the holy fire that is burning out the shame. God commanded a blessing for the humble and the low, in the unity of spirit is the only way to grow. How good and how pleasant it is when we're living in the light of the King. Like the oil on the head, like the promise of the dew, we find in a life that is ancient and new, in the harmony of heaven, in the power of the sun. How good it is when we live as one. Behold, the world is watching to see if this is real. Will we show them how to wander, or show them how to heal? From the highest peak of Hermon to the streets where we reside, let the love of Jesus Christ be our constant guide. Living as one under the sun, forevermore. Life has begun. How good it is. The accuser keeps whispering the names of my past, counting the altars where the shadows were cast. 5 times broken, a chaotic track, a history of storms that I can't take back. They look at the wreckage, they look at the stain, and say a soul like mine should be locked in the pain. But the enemy doesn't know the power of the blood. He doesn't see the masterpiece standing in the mud. Yeah, I ran through the wilderness, I took every turn, dancing in fires just to watch the bridge burn. But mercy was tracking the prince in the dust, replacing the shame with a holy trust. My past isn't standard, it's jagged and torn, but that's exactly where the testimony is born. You didn't come for the saints who were already clean, you came for the rebel who was lost in the sea. but the critics all stare. They don't know the weight that was lifted in prayer. The louder they whisper the things that I've been, the louder I'll shout how you saved me from sin. The record is clear. There's no room for guilt and there's no room for fear. A modern day prodigal home from the wild. The Father didn't judge me, He called me His child. The labels they gave me are broken and dead. I'm wearing a robe of redemption instead. Washed in the blood. The past is a shadow. I am His child. Yeah. Sometimes I sit back and I count up the years, the decades that vanished in terror and tears, locked in the prison of a fractured mind, grieving the pieces that I left behind. I look at the clock and I feel the regret for the suns that went down and the stages already set. But I hear a voice cutting straight through the dark, blowing the ash off a lingering spark. God says I am the Alpha, the end and the start. There is no expiration on a dedicated heart. The locusts came in and they ate from the vine, but the soil still belongs to God's grand design. I'm letting look into the mirror through a cloud of heavy doubt, counting all the pieces that you think you live without. The world tells you you're falling short, you're missing every mark, leaving you to sit alone and shivering in the dark. You carry all the labels that they threw at you for years, and you weigh your own self-worth by the measure of your tears. But the architect of oceans, the master of the sky, didn't put a single flaw inside the canvas of your life. You are fearfully and wonderfully, beautifully designed, a hand-carved piece of heaven, a treasure left behind. So lift your head up higher, let it sink into your heart. God don't make no junk, my friend. You are a work of art. Oh, it doesn't matter where you've been or what you left behind, the broken roads, the heavy loads, the shadows in your mind. The world is full of judges trying to tell you what you're worth, measuring your value by the dust upon this earth. But you are not a copy, and you are not a mistake. You're a melody of grace that only holy hands could make. But the architect of oceans, the master of the sky, didn't put a single flaw inside the canvas of your life. You are fearfully and wonderfully, beautifully designed, a hand-carved piece of heaven, a treasure left behind. So lift your head up higher, let it sink into your heart. God don't make no junk, my friend. You are a work of art. Before the world was spinning, before the stars were hung, your name was spoken softly by the everlasting tongue. He didn't make a misfit, he didn't drop the ball. When he breathed the breath of life in you, he gave the pieces all. You are enough just as you are, you're exactly who he planned, a masterpiece protected in the hollow of his hand. Yeah, the architect of oceans, the master of the sky, didn't put a single flaw inside the canvas of your life. You are fearfully and wonderfully,
pedal past the manicured lawns today, watching the shadows of the afternoon fade away. Saw the bricks in the mortar, the fence is so high, and a familiar old ache started rising inside. I count up the dollars, I look at the cost, and it feels like another domain that I lost. A quiet street corner, a key in a door, a dream that feels locked to a soul that is poor. But the King of all kings had no roof for his head, no house of his own where he lay down to bed. He walked on the dust and he breathed in the air, possessing no kingdom but the hearts gathered there, all trying to settle my heart in the space of a traveler who's learning to lean on his grace. Yeah, the longing is heavy, but the truth makes me free. I am walking the road in the King's company. The TV is playing, the stories unfold of women with partners and houses of gold. And I try to be happy just being alone, to accept that the future is uniquely my own. But the silence can whisper, the heart can still grieve for the white picket promises I used to believe. It's a daily surrender to let go of the past and trust that His shelter is the one that will last. It's okay that I'm hurting, it's okay that I care. He sees every pedal stroke, hears every prayer. He doesn't demand that I look completely secure. He just holds my head when the path is unsure. No deed in my name, no ring on my hand, but I'm rich in a way that the world can't command. Just a bike on the pavement, the wind blowing free. Rejoices to be in the King's company.
I see the lights of the city shining bright, flickering like gold in the shadows of the night. Every window holds a story, every door a heavy key to a kingdom built of mortar that was never meant for me. I've walked along the borders of a world I cannot buy, and watched the grand illusions pass a lonely dreamer by, counting up the treasures that the changing seasons steal, standing on the outside of a life that feels unreal. But the King of all the kings pictures of a perfect life. A quiet hand to hold, a harbor from the storm and strife. And the silence tries to whisper that I miss the final train, that the future is a shadow full of solitary pain. But there's a quiet mercy in the breaking of the dawn, a promise that outlives the dreams that faded and are gone. It's a daily sweet surrender, just to let the longing fall and trust the one who broke the bread and had no home at all. It's okay to feel the heartache, it's okay to trace the scars. We are more than just the houses underneath these quiet stars. He doesn't ask for triumph or a life without a care. He just walks beside the traveler on the road to over spirit flying free, rejoicing on the journey in the King's company. Lord, you have searched me. You know when I sit down. You see the heavy thoughts that trace across my brow. Before a single word can form upon my tongue, you know the hidden spaces where the shadows hung. You held me in behind, you lay your hand on me. Such knowledge is too wonderful, a sacred mystery. Where can I go from your spirit, Lord? Where can I flee from your face? If I ascend to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the lowest depths of grace, if I everlasting. Lead me in the path of your peace. You know my heart, you hold my hand. Everlasting, evermore. Desert of white, bleached by the sun, in the dead of the night. No breath in the valley, no beat in the chest, just a kingdom of shadows in eternal rest. The Spirit is moving, question is thrown. Can life ever bloom from this garden of blood?
by the banks of the Jordan. The mantle is cast. The days of the prophet are reaching the last. The sky starts to tear with a thunderous roar, a sight that no mortal has witnessed before. Chariots of fire, horses of flame, the heavens are shouting the majesty's name. Caught in the whirlwind, ascending the height, a golden collision of power and light. Ride on the fire. Elisha is watching. He cries for the soul of the master departing as the thunder clouds roar. A double portion, a spirit of might as the horses of glory vanish from sight. Higher, higher past the stars and the sun. The race has been finished, the victory won. No grave could contain him, no earth could hold down. The prophet of fire goes to claim his chariots of fire, horses of flame, the heavens are shouting the majesty's name. Caught in the whirlwind, ascending the height, a golden collision of power and light. Ride on the fire. The mantle falls, the fire remains. Elijah, Elijah.
I stand upon the shifting sand of time, where shadows stretch and mountains try to climb. I have seen the darkness, I have felt the cold in the days of old, when the lies were told. But a voice like thunder breaks the silent night, turning the haunting to a face of light.
white horse rides beneath the blackened sky, conquering king with a bow of gold. The ancient prophecy begins to unfold. Red horse follows with a blade of fire, taking the piece of funeral pyre. Black horse scales in a hand of bone. Famine descends from the iron throne. The stars fall like figs from a shaken tree. The mountains crumble into the sea. Hide in the rocks from the face of light. There is no refuge in the endless night. Behold the rider, King of Kings, the word of God on eagle's wings, with eyes of flame and a robe of blood. He tramples the winepress of the holy flood. The Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last. The chains of the serpent are broken at last. The pale horse comes with the name of death. Hades follows with a freezing breath. A fourth of the earth in the shadow of doom. The sun turns black as a silk spun loom. The moon turns red like a martyr's vein. The sky departs like a scroll in pain. The kings of the earth and the mighty men cry to the rocks, don't let him in. 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, a final tally of the human souls. The smoke of the incense and prayers of the saints. The dragon is bound, the enemy faints. War in heaven cast to the earth. The labor pains of a new world's birth. Behold the rider, King of Kings, the word of God on eagle's wings, with eyes of flame and a robe of blood. He tramples the winepress of the holy flood. The Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last. The chains of the serpent are broken at last. Death and Hades cast into the lake. The foundations of the universe shake. No more sorrow, no more night. The Lamb is the temple, the Lamb is the light. Amen. Amen.
step into the grave, how do I surrender the promise that you gave? The wood is on his shoulders, the fire's in my hand, walking blindly through a desolate, unforgiving land. My heart is tearing open, the darkness starts to bleed. Is this the bloody harvest of Abraham's seed? Lay him on the altar, the screaming in my head, walking through the shadow of the living and the dead. Raise the blade of torment, the ultimate decree. Oh God, pierce the silence, look down and pity me. By faith I am broken, by faith I am torn, in the shadow of the mountain where the sacrifice is born. He looks into my eyes, innocent and pure. Father, where's the lamb? A blade I can't endure. The questions pierce deeper than any iron thorn. I am the father of nations, completely forsaken and forlorn, binding the covenant with ropes upon the wood. I'd swap places in a heartbeat if I only could. The sun goes black, the wind begins to howl, the shadows of judgment are turning fierce and foul. Lay him on the altar, the screaming in my head, walking through the shadow of the living and the dead. Raise the blade of torment, the ultimate decree. Oh God, pierce the silence, look down and pity me. By faith I am broken, by faith I am torn, in the shadow of the mountain where the sacrifice is born. Grip the hilt, feel the weight, seal the promise, seal his fate. No tears left to cry, only the sky. Why, God, why? The steel reflects the light, a flash before the strike, an agony of soul that nothing else is like. The muscle tenses up, the final breath is drawn. Abraham, the voice breaks through the dawn. Hold back your hand, the test is complete. See the ram in the thicket, the enemy's defeat. The knife falls away into the dirt and dust. Jehovah Jireh
in the night, 12 houses are rising to claim back the light. Gather the tribes from the north and the sea. Gather the tribes. It was written to be a tapestry woven in crimson and gold. The story of ages is finally told. One heart, one spirit, 12